Check, check. Check, check. Chickadee check. Am I on? Am I on? Am I on? Oh, I'm live. What do you know, Joe? I'm live. Nobody's watching. Nobody cares. Neither do I. But I'm going to do stuff. I'm going to get stuff done because it needs to be done. What am I going to do? Let's do a new project. And first we will do sermon outros. And we'll do that. And then we'll just do sequence 1. That's fine. And we're good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and drag it in here. It's going to ask me if I want to change it. In this case, I will. Don't always do that, but in this case, I will. And then I'm going to take, let's see, this one. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There are 20. Okay, then. Now I'm going to pull all of these in over here. Come on, come on. I got to wait for it. I got to wait for it. Here it comes. I'm waiting for it. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. Now I'm going to expand. And I'm going to go like this. I'm just actually going to click here and put that there. And then I don't know why this one's the only one that's different. Oh, because that's why there's 21. I pulled in the wrong thing. There we go. Sorry, 20. There's 19. 19 clips. All right, so we're going to give them all the same. Let's look at the audio on them.
Free, and you're not going to be able to live in your master's house and live off of him.
Pretty good. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to some music. Nope, it's not in there. How about samples? Royalty-free music. How about dramatic trailer? Let's see. I'm looking at circus background music. That makes it spiritual chill, happy. Let's see. Go. Yeah, that might work. Spiritual chill. All right. Happy, royalty free. Okay. Let's go with that. Let's see what happens there. All right. So we pulled it in. First thing we want to do is let's expand this and let's see. Is the intro? Well, intro starts right up. Okay. And it ends right out. No, that's an outro. Ah, see? That's the ending of the song. So we'll cut off that outro. Delete this with Alt to grab it. And then put a constant power at the end of this to fade it out like that. That's fine. And then we will send this to the beginning, see how the volume is.
If you want to remain as a servant, then you've made this choice. You've put yourself in this situation. And so you're going to have to say, you know what, I love my master.
A little too loud. Let's bring it down like 12 dB.
Master, I love, I want to be a servant, and I'm better off this way. And then he'll take you down a public place, and he'll take an awl as like a pokey thing, and he'll drive it through your ear into the post, and then he'll put a gold plug in there, an earring in, and then everybody will know that you're his servant. That'll be done publicly.
It's a little too low now. How about -8?
And it's for a testimony and witness kind of thing that you wanted to do this. And so,
And then let's try on his voice maybe like a hair of reverb to give it dramatic effect.
You know, we've heard before, you know, why should we not have earrings in our ears? Well, at least for men, it's a mark of servitude. It's a mark of being a servant. You say, well, Pastor, we don't have slaves in our society. You know, but things mean things.
I'm going to take off the low tones in the reverb and lessen the length of the reverb and lessen the amount to tone it down some.
If you love her, you're going to have to leave her.
Let me take it off and test it.
She's a servant.
Put it back on.
And you're going to have to go free, and you're not going to be able to live in your master's house and live off of him.
Let me lengthen it out again. Put it at about 40.
He's not obligated to you that way. And so
let's bring it back down to 30. Put that back up a little bit. Have some pre-delay so it delays.
You can either leave her and go out, or you can remain as his servant. If you want to remain as a servant, then you've made this choice. You put yourself in this situation, and so you're going to have to say, you know what, I love my master. I want to be a servant.
Let me take it off and test it.
And I'm better off this way. And then he'll take you down a public place, and he'll take an awl as like a pokey thing, and he'll drive it through your ear into the post, and then he'll put a gold.
It's a little too heavy with the reverb. I'm not liking that reverb sound. Let me try again really quick. Let's just try like a studio preset.
Plug in there and earring. Your master. And your children belong to your master. And so when your seventh year comes, you're free to go, but she belongs to him and your children belong to him, and you're going to have to deal with the reality that if you love her, you're going to have to leave her. She's a servant.
Okay, so that kind of works better. Let's see, how about some magic bullet looks? We will slap that on. Let's put a, what do you call it? Let's put the adjustment layer, and let's just stretch it out over all of these clips. And then let's take this audio, and I'm just going to hold Alt, and I'm going to drag one here, start it from the beginning here. Oh, look at this. We don't have one to the end here, so we're going to have to drag one back and see if we have to like cross fade this somewhere or find a dynamic part where the music stops.
Is more easily managed. Hair types. Different hair types, like some different hair.
This is a downbeat right there. So let's cut here to this downbeat, and we'll go to this downbeat right here, and we'll pull it in there, and then hopefully we can expand out at the end, maybe. Can we?
And is, the whole sculpting, hair sculpting.
Let me check it.
I understand different hair types. Like some hair is more easily managed.
Okay, so I'm going to take this audio. I'm going to take this, copy it. I'm going to highlight all of this here and put paste attributes. I'm going to continue on with, see, this is another long clip that doesn't reach out with the music. So we're going to have to once again take something like this and pull it over, and it's still not even long enough. So what we have to do is pull this out longer and find a downbeat like.
And the rule is that if you come in as a servant, you're a Hebrew, you're here, and you have children, she still belongs to your master. And your children belong to your master. And so when your 7th year comes, you're free to go, but she belongs to him and your children belong to him, and you're...
Oh no, we don't want that ending. Alright, so we're not on point just yet. Let's go ahead and, oh, some of these are way longer. So first we're gonna have to do is come over here and grab this and create like an extended loop because it's not long enough for these videos. So let's find the loop. Okay, pull that back to about here's where it ended. And my my constant power. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. And we'll start right here. This is where the music comes in. Let's expand this a little bit, expand that a little bit so we can see. This is about the downbeat when you hear a click right about there-ish. So we're going to cut that. Okay, I'm going to copy this. We're going to delete that and expand it back out. And then we're going to put that right about, let's see. Right there on this one. Right when it ended, we'll move this back here, and we should have a loop now. Well, without that little fade, the little fade shouldn't be there. Two, three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's offbeat. Should be about there. I guess that's about it. It's a weird timing signature. It's hard to count. But let's take that again, and actually we'll take this. Whoops. Drag it out to the beginning. No, we don't want to raise it. I'm going to pull this over here. No, we don't want to drag it out to the beginning either, do we? Let's try that again. We want to take this. We want to go to this point, drag it out to the beginning, put a cut. Now we can drag it to the beginning. And then our new cut, I guess, is going to go right here, I believe. And then we'll cut all that off, and we'll cut that off, and this should be our loop, hopefully. Let's just check it. Not exactly sure if that worked. No, it didn't work at all. What did I just do? Why didn't that work? I got a little confused myself. Let's check it first. Alright, let's take off this. Maybe this is what did it. Okay, so let's try that one more time. Pull this up. Should be right on it. Pull that out. Cut it. Okay, now if we were to take this whole thing and put it from the beginning, then our new cut should be here for the end. Looks about right now. Now this, can cut that, and then we should be able to insert it a bunch of times and see if it lines up, creating a loop. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, there we have our loop. We're good to go. So, insert, insert. Alright, so now that we have our loop, that should be long enough. This is probably our longest clip here, so the longest loop we really need is about probably not more than, oops, that. So that should fit there, it should fit here, it should fit there, 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 and here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and then it should also fit there, and this should fit here, and this should fit there, and this should fit here, and this should come back there and be there. And now we should have this. Something's weird.
Love come at a cost.
Alright, so this right here can probably be, nope, never mind. This right here can probably be, nope, never mind. Why didn't that work? Try that one more time. At the beginning of the clip? Never mind, it's not working. Alright, so we're good then with that. Good. Looks good, everything looks good. Just checking the cuts. They seem to be okay so far. I guess they're okay. Some of them that might work differently would be this one. Let's see if we can drag that out. Okay. This one, let's see if we can drag that out. This one should be able to drag it out. Alright, I think we're good. This can go. This can get cut. Now, we're going to take our, we're going to put our looks on here. Magic Bullet looks. And we'll take a look at it. First, we're going to save this project. And we're going to take a look at Magic Bullet looks. Did I put it on? Why is it not showing? I don't know. Let's try that again. Oh, there it is. It's up there. Okay. Let's open it up and edit it. And we'll do something like, let's find something that just, I don't know, has a weird effect. Not too dark and, what's a weird effect? It's like a weird but pleasant to look at effect. Blockbuster cool. No, these are too weird. A little too weird. What about the, there was one that was techniques, no? Impulse three-way. There was one that had like a spotlight effect. Let me see what this just looks like on it. Now, if we were to take it off, on,
House and live off of him.
off, on, that's a little too much. So, we can set it back to like 50. And then also, let's look around for what's indie. Song and Castle, what is that? Any grain? Cobweb and Rose. How about grain? Log monofilm. What is that? A little much. Monofilm stock is a little much. People. Crime scene. Ooh, class. What's that? No, too dark. My hero. Spot focus. That's interesting. Spot focus. Makes the logo blurry though. People pop. Okay. People pop. How do you check? There's got to be a way to check like on and off. Enhancements. Ooh, punch in the dark. That's kind of cool. Punch in the dark. Let's try punch in the dark. Just because it pops, like super pops. And then let's check that out. And so we have it at 50. So this is 100. It's a little much. Let me just look for a few more really quick. Grunge. It's too grungy. Too dark. Oh, what's this? Can't play it like this. Let me try. Whoa. Let me try this really quick. Oh, why is it doing that? Okay, well, let me just check it. And if I were to put it at like 20%, what does it do?
And everybody will know that you're his servant.
Nah, I don't really like it. Let's find something else. Filters, grading setups. Simple video grading. Grading power suite. Where are my settings? I don't really want to manually do it either. I really just want to find something. Just nothing. Ooh, that's okay. It's bluish. Kind of like that turquoise-ish, bluish effect is interesting. What do we got on this guy? Sky filter. Sky filter. Controls. Post. Camera lens. Tools. Exposure. So I guess you drag them down here. Come on, Mike. Come on. Oh, I never messed with this. I don't have time for this. Haze. There, what's this? Haze. Cool haze. Cyan streak. Subtle warm. Top gear. What do we got here? What is all this nonsense? Zeroed out. Alright, this is too much. Too much. I don't want to mess with all this, really. Color play. Ooh, emerald. Emerald days. That really changed the color of everything. Let's just check that out for a second. That is with. That is without. With. Without. It changed my tacTimes to orange. It puts too much pixelation in the roof, in the image. So we're gonna have to go find something else really quick, or we're gonna just do our own. I'm not finding anything that's like looking awesome. This is okay. This is rubber shield. I don't know what that says. Colorista curves. How about curves? Come on, where are my controls? There they are. Maybe bring up the darks a little bit. More mids. Let's try that. It's kind of subtle. We got that, and this is off, and that's on, and this is off. On. I like that. Off. On. Off. On. I like it. Maybe just lessen it to 70 or 50, so it's a little more subtle. Off. On. Off. On. Alright, so we'll take this looks right here, copy it, paste it on the adjustment layer. That didn't work, did it? Copy, paste, there it is. Now it doubled the effect, so we're gonna have to take it off of the original clip. And then we'll also take a fast color corrector and maybe just bring up the mids like 1.1 to give it a little brighter. Crunch the blacks a little bit. That's too much. 4 or 6. Let's try 4. Okay, and then maybe bring the saturation to like 120-ish. It's a little too much there. He's too red. 110. And then maybe put back in some. Too red. I was gonna say some. I don't know what I was gonna say. That's not working. I'm gonna undo that. It's got like a maybe just a hair. Actually, you know what will work? Take this white dropper and we'll say that white is, let's just say, his shirt. Even though it's not white. White would be more like in the back here. That's a little better. So now if we take the fast color off, it's like that, and it's like this. So it just gave it a little more bluish. There we go. I think we're good. I think we're good. I like it with it on. It's an interesting effect. Alright, there we go. Not so bad. Let's try the brights. Ooh. Okay. That's without. It's a little more subtle. That's with. It's a little brighter. Let's keep it like this then. Alright, so we got that set. We have it on all clips. Let's say we take off the adjustment layer, and that's what we have. We put it back on, and that's what we have. So off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on. So maybe pop up saturation a hair and lessen the looks effect down to like 50. And then also crunch blacks a little more, maybe 7. Didn't do anything. Alright, now try off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on. Check here. Off, on, off, on. I like on better. The vignette. Let's check that really quick. Is there a vignette on here? Vignette. I don't see one. Alright, we're fine. We don't need it. We're good. I think we are good. Alright, so now, next step.
Date and a name that you lost in the virus.
Let me put this at full so I can see it without it looking jaggedy edges.
So don't do that. Don't do that. You say, why, Pastor? Well, there's a fixation, actually, with death. And there is a lack of awareness of the hope of eternal life that is attached to that. I'm not against a memory or a memorial, but the Bible says don't do it to yourself. Now, here are some thoughts that I have on that. I've preached a number of funerals in my ministry, and probably will preach quite a few more. One of the things that I realize is that sorrow is natural, but God's intention is that sorrow is temporary. One of the wonderful things about the way that God made us is that we heal.
Okay. Looks okay. We're not in HD quality to begin with, so it was actually shot in standard definition, so everything's a little blurry, but let's try an unsharp mask on top of everything. And we'll put the amount at 100, and then we'll put this radius at like 4. And that's a little much, so we'll bring the radius to 3 and the sharpening to 70. And now off, on, off, on. Definitely sharpens up the logo. Yeah, everything's sharper.
We heal. We get past.
Alright, so what I'm hearing now is the music's too loud. So what I'm going to do is lower this music back down to -11. Click on it, copy it, highlight all this music, right click, remove effects. Okay, come to the first clip, paste attributes, also grab a multiband compressor, set it to music mastering.
So you can either leave her and go out, or you can remain as his servant.
Now we'll take that, copy it, highlight all the rest, right click, paste attributes. Now they should all be like that.
Politicians being negative. Has anyone seen how effective it is for the negative person, though? It just works. Just attacking.
Alright, so I'm going to boost this voice with I'm going to boost the voice with dynamics and EQ, and the EQ is going to go to loudness, because it should boost the bass some up. What happened here is when the audio was cleaned up prior to this, there were some filters added on it to take out the noise, and what it did take out a lot of noise, but what it also does is it kills some of the frequencies in the voice and makes the voice sound kind of like robotic and unpleasant. So I'm going to try to just put in the EQ to boost some of the lows, move the EQ up here so it's before everything, and put the compressor on the dynamics, and I'm just going to leave the preset that it's already on the dynamics, which is just soft compression, and see if that boosts the voice. Whoops, we lost sound.
Advertising. I've learned actually in the last
Now you see the meters on the right are now basically touching the top.
15 years that negative campaigning works.
Alright, so it's better. I'm going to hold that, Control C, grab all this audio, Control right click, remove effects, all of them, right click again, paste attributes, and all of these should now have the effects that we had.
It just does.
Okay, now the next step is going to be grabbing my outro, which I gotta find where that is. This should probably be in samples, outro. There we go. We got donations, dangerous. Let me check this one really quick.
They're clearly going after truth channels, independent media, and alternative journalists. Here's where I need your help. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and follow me on Facebook. In addition to that, please donate to the channel either by PayPal or Patreon. PayPal for a one-time donation, and Patreon for an ongoing donation. I ask this because this is how it has to be done. They're trying to rub us out. They demonetize all the videos to take away our ad revenue to remove our incentive. so you as a subscriber can help mitigate that damage and sidestep what they're trying to do. Your contribution will not only be greatly appreciated, but it will also enable me to keep these videos coming, no matter where I end up having to put them. The information war is on, guys, and they are trying to keep us in the dark.
That one's pretty cool. I think we should just add that to the end of all of these. Why not, right? I mean, what other ones are there? There's this. This is better. I don't want to be a beggar asking for a bunch of donations, whether effective or not. I don't like it. I want Google to pay me, not my friends who are helping me. Alright. Alright. Here we go. So now what we want to do is uncheck this and uncheck this. So that, and uncheck this, so that when we skip through this video, we only skip with the up and down arrows, and it only gives us, it only cuts us, or sends us to the cuts that are in the video wave, this selected one, not the audio ones, not any other ones. So if we had this on, for instance, just to show, whoops. Right, first I'm going to right click and put delete tracks and just put delete all empty tracks, right? But if we had this selected and I press the up or down arrow key, it's going to bring me to every audio cut, every cut that's on the channel selected. So I'm going to deselect these and only have the video channel. And then once I have that, I'm going to click here and I'm going to click insert, and then I'm going to click down again, insert, down again, insert. So I'm just going to go down, insert, down, insert, down, insert, down, insert. There we go. We're done. Undo the last one. All right, so now we have all our video clips with our outros on them.
If you come in as a servant and you're a Hebrew, you're only going to be there 6 years. And so if while you're a servant, you marry, your master gives you a wife, you marry her and you have children, she still belongs to your master.
All right, so now I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this here to the end. And hopefully these export right without the ends. I don't know if this is a safe bet to do this. I kind of want to, you know what I want to do is put like a I want something to separate. So we'll get our static clip from somewhere, samples, static cut. There we go. Let's look at that. What is noise? Okay, that's a long one. tacTimes static. How about this? Okay, so one or the other. Looks different, sounds different. We'll try this one for old time's sake. Alright, so we're going to drag it in here, grab it, Control X to cut it, and now I'm just going to go do the same type of thing. I should have done this before I did the outros probably, but anyway, I'm going to insert, and you're not even going to see it because it's so, but now I'm going to have to skip to the outro and then hit insert. So I'm going to go down arrow, insert, down arrow, insert, down arrow, insert, down, insert, down, insert, down, insert, down, insert, down, insert. Whoops, that didn't work. That wasn't in the right spot. Should be here. Oh, it didn't go to the end, that's why. Oh, because it doesn't. What happened to my channel? What happened to my clip at the end? My clip never pasted video, it only pasted audio. My outro. Why did it do that? Alright, we're gonna have to do the outros again. So we're gonna have to delete these. Something went wrong. Not exactly sure what happened there. But anyway, I'm just gonna delete these one by one. There should only be 20 of them, 19 of them. Something happened. There was a fail involved in there. Maybe something wasn't selected. Something wasn't selected. So back to my folder, outro. Just repeat my work again. Dangerous. Minimize that. Grab this, Control X. Click here. And now I should just be able to paste it. There it went. Now it went. I don't know why it didn't go last time. If I try insert again, it still worked. So, but this time I'm going to paste. Control V. Down, 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 paste, 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 paste, down, down, paste, down, down, paste, down, down, paste. Nope, didn't work. Down, down, Control V, down, down, Control V, down, down, Control V, down, down, Control V. All right, there we go. Now I should have the little static in the front. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I should have the static cut dividing it. So that should start off the clip, I guess.
If you come in as a servant and you're a Hebrew, you're only going to be there 6 years. And so if while you're a servant, you marry, your master gives you a wife, you marry her and you have children, she still belongs to your master. And your children belong to your master. And so when you're 7th year...
Okay, so it's a little bit loud, a hair loud. So I'm going to come back to the audio here. And dynamics. And just I'm going to bring the makeup gain down to like 2.
Year comes, you're free to go, but she belongs to him and your children belong to him, and you're going to have to deal with the reality that if you love her, you're going to have to leave her. She's a servant, and you're going to have to go free, and you're not going to be able to live in your master's house and live off of him.
Okay, better. And I'm going to have to go to the EQ, and I kind of want to boost, not really the mids. Like, I guess I'm just going to bring this low one over more to like the 100, 200.
He's not obligated to you that way. And so you can either leave her and go out, or you can remain as his servant. And if you want to remain as a servant, then you've made this choice. You've put yourself in this situation. And so you're going to have to say, you know what, I love my master. I want to be a servant, and I'm better off this way. And then he'll take you down a public place, and he'll take an awl as like a pokey thing, and he'll drive it through your ear into the post, and then he'll put a gold plug in there, an earring in, and then everybody will know that you're his servant. That'll be done publicly, and it's for a testimony witness kind of thing that you wanted to do this. And so,
That's actually a lot better. I had to boost the bass way up in this area, the 200, because all the frequencies were lost when the clip was audio corrected. All right, copy. No, and I don't want to do it to all the clips. So now I just got to select all these one by one. Okay, I'm gonna hold Alt Shift. I hate doing everything like manually. Hold Alt Shift. I like doing it all in simple, quick brush strokes. Have your painting all done. Whoops, I pressed Caps Lock. Okay, I'm holding Shift and Alt, and I'm just clicking the videos here because I don't want to get the outros with it. Shift and Alt, clicking just the videos. There, we're gonna right click, remove effects, and then right click and paste attributes. So hopefully all these are good now.
So,
What was the name of this one? Earrings are for slaves.
a witness kind of thing that you wanted to do this. And so, you know, we've heard before, you know, why should we not have earrings in our ears? Well, at least for men, it's a mark of servitude. It's a mark of being a servant. You say, well, Pastor, we don't have slaves in our society. You know, but things mean things. Things have meanings. And what it means is that you're a slave to something. You know, I think for many men, you're a servant to vanity. Vanity is what I see. A dude putting a shiny diamond in his ear. It's not masculine.
Good, there we have it. Alright, so now let's just go ahead, and I'm not even going to watch these clips. I'm just going to set this. And so the first one is earrings. Is earring one word or two? That's a good question. Let's try that. Earring. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Alright, so it's earrings. Okay. Double R. Now we know, so we'll come over here, we'll do export Control E. We're going to set our first one to format H.264. Oh, I got to find one more thing. I got to see what bit rate he gave me these videos in. So let's go back to my main folder where they are. I'm going to check the bit rate on these. Property details bit rate is 20,000. Okay, pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to set this to my custom preset, 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second. Variable bit rate, 1 pass. Target is going to have to come down to, we'll match his at 20 so we don't run the risk of losing any quality. So it's going to be not even half a gig for this clip. And then we're going to call this earrings. Oh, sorry, I had a double R. There we go. I had copied it. Earrings are for slaves. Okay. Baptist preacher says earrings are for slaves. Beautiful. All right. Let's copy that. We'll make a subfolder. We'll put here tacTimes religious debate videos. All right, here we go. Open this up, and we'll send this to save it, and we'll hit the queue. Pulls up the media encoder, and it puts it in the queue. Now, before we render anything, we're going to drag this out to the end of the next one and the beginning of the next one. And this is, we're just going to have to do this manually, so we make sure that we are capturing it from the exact spot to the exact spot. From here, we'll do it before the static. The static will be the intro of every clip. You know what? Now that I think about it, I got a better idea. Let's take this static, copy, and we'll insert it again. Down, 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 insert again, down, down, down. Now we're doing 3 downs. Down, 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 click, down, 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 click, down, 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 insert, 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 down, down. Oh, I did it wrong. Escape. Control Z. Down, 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 insert, down, 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 insert, down, down, down. Why do we have 2 already here? Did something wrong. Down, 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 insert, down, 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 insert, down, 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 insert, down, 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 insert. Okay, better off that way now. We'll leave the first one alone, I guess. Or if we want to cancel it, let's just click on it, copy the name. Whoops, copy the name. cancel, and we'll just right click and we'll just remove that. And then I'm sure you want to, okay, we'll remove it. We'll come back to the beginning. Man, I want to be able to put a, I want to make this easier. Should be easy enough. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll put it in between the two statics. So we have a static in the beginning, a static at the end. Alright, so first one we're going to Control E, go back, and we'll have to rename it, which we saved. So click Save. The audio settings, audio quality high, bitrate 320. Cue it. Next up, we're going to drag this part to where this one was, right there in between. And then the ending of it is going to be here. And the name of that clip is Free Love, okay?
A lot of things aren't really, especially when it comes to sin, they're not very forthright, they're not very honest about sin. So for instance, here's a term that as much as you understand is all you need to. Free love. Free love. That sounds really positive, doesn't it? Free love. Well, should love come at a cost? Well, what free love is and what free love means, it sounds good, right? Free is good, love's good, as far as I'm concerned. Both of those things would be true, free love. But what free love means is immoral. Actually, it means immorality. It doesn't mean what it says. And so the way it's branded, the law actually gives you some things that exposes it for what it actually is.
Okay, well.
Now, there's a lot of things aren't really, especially when it comes to sin, they're not very forthright, they're not very honest about sin. So for instance, here's a term.
Okay, let's see. Control E, and then this is going to have to be something like Baptist preacher bashes on free love. That's not, he's not bashing, so that's no, exposes. Baptist preacher exposes the deception of free love. I don't know. I don't have a name for this. I don't have a name for that little. Oh, you want to really do it? How about Baptist preacher says free love is good? Baptist preacher says free love is good and bad. I don't know. We can come up with a different name for it later. We can come up with a different name for it later if we want to, but for now we'll just have that, so at least we can identify the video clip. Next, we'll move this over here. We just want to check and make sure we're right in between the I'm not sure how there is to make a space between the two. I think we'll be fine without doing that. Put it there. We'll check what this clip is. It's named Hairstyles.
Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. the Lord. Okay, so first of all, style, hairstyle. You think this is talking to ladies or to men primarily here? Yeah, except for the you know, cutting in your flesh. I think that could be for ladies as well. But yeah, probably for men. I'm concerned with men that are into the whole vanity thing. I understand different hair types. Like some hair is more easily managed with. My hair is not easily managed, baby. My hair is not managed at all. It's just mowed. That's what we do with mine. But you know, some folks have really, really stiff hair, coarse hair, and you know, you've got to kind of trim a style into it sometimes. Just, you know, it's got to taper it. It's just more complicated. But you know, carving and just making pictures on your head, the Bible just says don't do it. And again, I think it comes back to the same underlying issue. Don't cut the corners of your beards. Don't, you know, so if you're going to have a beard, have an ugly one. That's what the Bible says. You know, just go ahead and just be, you know, and the assumption is that you do have a beard, it seems like here. So, you know, prophecy about Jesus was that they plucked out his beard. And so, you know, we don't see it in the New Testament. The Old Testament gives us that. So, anyway, this whole carving shapes and it's individuals. I don't like to use the world's terminology much, but there is some kind of playboy mentality, like people that are just they, instead of committing to marriage and being moral, they're loose morally, and the equivalent, you know, for women is to overly paint their faces and overemphasize the makeup and the eyes and the impudence. Yeah, mascara is evil, Chuck. Yeah, maybe not. But you know, with an impudent face, like the not having the shamefacedness of the sobriety of the eyes, facedness of the sobriety of the eyes, you know. But you know, with an impudent face, like the not having the shamefacedness of the sobriety of the eyes, you know, that the not having the downcast eyes in a woman, but emphasizing and directing and painting your face in such a way, you know. And the equivalent of for men is, you know, the whole sculpting, hair sculpting, and you know, beard sculpting and hair sculpting and all those things. Again, that vanity, and that's effeminate. It's just not. It's not the way to go for men. For men. For men.
I hear a clip right here in the video. There's a cut right here. So that needs to come out. Gone.
For men.
Gone enough. So this can come in here and then export. Baptist preacher rants about the vanity of hairstyles. Rants about hair and vanity. I don't know. Baptist preacher rants about hair and vanity. About style. Hairstyles. There we go. Baptist preacher rants about hairstyles. Okay, and we'll have to change that later if we'd like to, or we won't have to, whatever works. Queue it up. We have 3 in queue now. So if you look over here, we got 3 ready. So we just got to do this to 19 of them, no big deal. Shouldn't take too long. The thing is, I'm just watching them. That's the only reason it's taking long. I'm just kind of giving them a once over and making sure the music doesn't clip, and like how we just caught that sound. But so really, that's going to be the longest part, is just watching them. I don't have to do it right now, but if I'm going to export them, I might as well.
Exodus chapter 21.
See that right there in the very beginning could be a little shorter, the way it comes in. Oh, but I just cut off the music now, so we'll pull the music back out to here. And we have that there. And then now at the end, we're going to be off. So this is what's taking long, just making sure we're tidying everything up. It's going to start right here.
Exodus chapter 21. This is the law, and this is talking about making Hebrews servants. And I want to remind you that this is not God's wholesale endorsing of slavery or of brethren owning brethren, okay? But this is a Hebrew being a Hebrew servant. And again, many times you'll read in the Old Testament law, you'll read, here's how to do something.
I already have the title for this one.
Father, that'd be better than this. And so understand, the connotation.
And I never faded this audio splice here because I don't hear a pop there, so I never bothered fading it. We could grab all this audio. It's a little late for the first videos, and press Control-T and it should put a fade between it, but I don't know that was even necessary, because let's check it down here. See, there's a fade now in this one.
Just wouldn't do that. Okay, that's extra. All right, so that's about piercing. Just mention. What does the Bible say about it? Well,
it's fine with or without. I wasn't hearing it, so I didn't bother putting anything there. It actually just sounded like a smooth cut. All right, so here we are. Here, let's see what the ending says.
Gold plug in there and earring it, and then everybody will know that you're his servant. That'll be done publicly, and it's for a testimony of witness kind of thing that you wanted to do this.
I still hear pop. What do I hear pop in this one now? The audio's cutting right here.
To do this.
This can come here, this can come here, this can come here, this can come here, this can come here.
This
can come here. And Baptist preacher explains the proper way to own Hebrew slaves. Preacher explains how to own Hebrew slaves, how to treat Hebrew slaves. Preacher explains how to treat Hebrew slaves. Preacher explains how to treat Hebrew slaves. Okay. That works. Save it. Cue it. Alright, we'll skip on. So now we got 4. So time consuming. And nobody got time for that. Alright, let's check out this one. Just review it, preview it. Where is it here? Next.
And there's just something about piercings. Don't get piercings. And I did say, well, Pastor, what's the law say about it? Is that the law for Israel?
Excuse me.
Extra. All right, so that's about piercing. That's just mention. What does the Bible say? It's happiness originally.
Okay, so we're still getting the pop. So we'll put this here and drag this out. Alright, we're good. And I'm gonna do ladies with nose rings look like bowls. Okay, so we'll export this and we'll call it Pastor calls women with nose rings ugly bowls. Women with nose rings are bulls, says Baptist preacher. Women with nose rings are ugly bulls, says Baptist pastor. Women with nose rings are ugly bulls, says Baptist pastor. No, it was better the way it was, I guess. Pastor calls women with nose rings ugly bulls. Ugly cows. Pastor calls women with nose rings ugly cows. Cue it up. Next. Alright, next one ends here. Let's check, make sure we're right in the middle. Come on. I can't drag it. Keeps grabbing the playhead. Alright, let's check the outro for the pop sound. Let's just throw the fade on there and drag it out a little. Alright, and then we'll pull in our thing right here to this one. And this one is about long hair on men.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God. When I was young, it used to be funny to joke about men having beautiful hair because it was rare enough that everybody saw the irony and thought it was not the way it should be. And so that really is the way it was when I was a kid. Today, it is nearly as commonplace for men to be as vain about their hair as a lady is. And it just is a reality. It happens. And so the standard of normal has moved a long ways. So much so that even in dress, there's just a lack of distinctiveness.
That one seems like it's missing information.
I think for many men, you're a servant to vanity. Vanity is what I see. A dude putting a shiny diamond in his ear, it's not masculine.
Really heard that part.
It's just not. This is my commentary on it. This is what I have to say further than what the scripture says. But I'm just telling you, there's something about a man wanting to be pretty that's not right. There's something about a man wanting to be ornamental. Here's some extra for you. God made you hairy. Don't be too hairy, but don't be smooth. You know what I'm saying, guys? I'm serious. A man ought to be just a little bit ugly. You know, ladies are supposed to be pretty, men aren't supposed to be pretty. Sometimes I'm joking about stuff like this. I'm not joking about this. You know, you guys, you need to be a little ugly, you know, so we know you're not a woman. Okay, that's just the way it is. This whole metrosexual movement, my friend, is designed. It is designed to take away the God-given masculinity. Now, guys, you shouldn't stink. You should smell good, and you should take lots of showers, but don't wear perfume. All right. So I'm not saying, but you can be ugly, just don't smell.
Okay, so that's. I feel like these are starting to miss information, and now we're getting into overlapping information. And so, without getting confused here, this one about earrings. This whole thing about earrings also kind of belongs here. So I'm going to insert it here.
Put a shiny diamond.
So you can see right here. Here, here, here.
It's not masculine.
Here, here, here. And then maybe stick another one of these cuts. I feel like it's going to break up the flow, but just to try this.
It's not masculine. It's not masculine.
So right here, 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 close that, fade that.
Masculine. It's just not. It's just not. This is my commentary on it. This is what I have to say further than what the scripture says. But I'm just telling you, there's something about a man wanting to be pretty that's not right.
Come here, start it up here.
That if you come in as a servant and you're a Hebrew, you're only going to be there 6 years. And so if while you're a servant, you've made, you know, but things mean things. Things have meanings.
So this one should be, I wonder if I can remove the first one. We'll just leave it. I'm going to leave it for now. I don't want to mess anything up, because if I start removing from here, it might remove them all. So I'm going to export this one. And what was the other one called? The other one was called Baptist Preacher Says Earrings Are for Slaves. Okay, so this is export Preacher Says Preacher. What is he talking about? He's talking about the earrings, slaves. It was just, there's something wrong with men who want to be pretty. There's something wrong about men who want to be pretty. The problem with men. The problem with men who want to be pretty. I don't know. That'll be for now. That'll be for now. Probably just have to, no, I like better. There's something wrong with men who want to be pretty. Cue it up. And I forgot this, I didn't finish this one. So let's see what else. This is long hair on a man. Let's take this. And grab long hair on a man. Let's grab this. Well, whatever, we'll come back to it. We didn't do it. We'll just see what we got here.
The Bible says that a man shouldn't put on something that pertains to a woman, and a woman shouldn't put on something that pertains to a man. I'm not endorsing things being form-fitting, but dudes don't do form-fitting. Guys don't have a figure, right? Okay, so you go to a bathroom, right? If you're lifting something heavy, then you just don't have game. That's all I gotta say. Has shifted so far that there just isn't a lot of clarity about it anymore. Sort of like hair on guys and holes in your head and things. Behave, how to do a thing. And a lady just ought to be very, very much a lady. And how many of y'all could imagine me wearing what my wife wears? And to be ugly. And so it's a good idea. And I'm not sure.
Okay, let's back this up and we'll just export this one so we don't forget it. These could have been cut up better, but...
Woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. It happens. And so the standard of normal has moved. Everybody saw the irony and thought it was...
Export. Pastor preaches against metrosexuality. See if that term translates to what he's talking about. A young urban heterosexual man with liberal political views, an interest in fashion, and a refined taste, sense of taste. Pastor preaches against metrosexuality. Okay. Cue it up. And we got this one over here, so we'll move it along to what's next. The next one was men shouldn't this one is
the fact is that it just makes good sense, doesn't it? Okay, so that's another one. That's another one. You know, Christians, believers have really lost a lot of identity. They've lost a lot of identity. Men don't dress like men. Ladies don't. And I'm not ashamed to say so. I'm not making any laws or rules. I'm not. You understand what I'm saying here this evening? That's the principle behind it. Now, I'm not going to tonight say, you know, a woman's always got to wear a dress. I just think it's a good idea.
okay. Make sure I'm on point. Are we halfway done? Okay. Export. Baptist preacher tells how men and women should and shouldn't dress. Baptist preacher on how you should dress. Hard Baptist preaching on how people should dress. Boom. All right, cue it up. Next. Next. This one comes here. Let's make sure we're locked in that. And this one is on negative campaigning. All right. Oh, we haven't been checking the end, but I don't even care.
It's always been that way.
Just take this so we don't get a cut. So let's do Pastor says negative campaigning works for politicians and churches. Negative campaigning works for politicians and churches. Preacher confirms negative campaigning works for churches. Preacher says negative campaigning works for politicians and churches. Cue it up. Trying to keep it short. Next, this looks like a short one. Let's move this to the end. This here. Cross constant power here. Drag it out just a little bit there. And put our starting point here. There.
And I just want to look at some things that the law says. And these would be issues, matters that the church used to have a pretty good handle on the gospel. Okay, so one of them is one that we read in our context this evening. This is about piercings. It's about piercing, body piercing. Okay, I hope it goes away. I feel bad for the people with the and it's gone out right now. It was kind of gone away, and people are. It's amazing how they'll close up and the gauging actually goes away. But that was popular a couple of years ago, and it kind of comes and it goes. Of the way that they were emphasized or preached, issues, matters that the church used. One of them is one that we read in our context this evening. This is about piercings. Emphasize them more than the gospel.
I don't know, it feels like it's too short, it's missing information, but I'm going to export it anyway. Hard Baptist preaching against body piercings. Okay, cue it. We might have to combine them later, or just put them up as excerpts. Or what we do is we post them and say, for the full sermon, go here, and then it links them to the full sermon. Because some of these clips just seem incomplete. like they're either saying too much or they're not saying enough. Let's check this one. This is Preacher Tells a Funny Joke. So
Devin Frost, I just embarrassed him. He hasn't been riled up and aggravated. Everybody else was delighted. And it made me feel
export. Let me just actually check the ending. Find export. Preacher jokes about man's pants falling off. Preacher jokes about man's pants falling off. Cue it up. I saw some of these. I listened to them. I listened to them while I was at work, so I wasn't paying full attention, but I was getting the gist of what the clips were saying. So I know that was a joke about a guy whose pants were falling down. Whenever I can go back and change it. Preacher jokes about preacher. We'll leave it for now. We got skin marks and blood markings. Okay.
And the second thing it talks about is making marks for the dead. When I was growing up, I wouldn't even know what that was, but today everybody knows cutters, right? They know people that cut, and they cut themselves for. There's something behind it. There's an inherent idea behind it. One of the wonderful things about the way drug addiction, cutting yourself and that sort of thing. Well, these individuals, just something morbid about tattoos. Again, our culture has
hard Baptist preaching against marring your flesh. Is marring the word? I think that's the word. Marring, impair the appearance, disfigure. Oh, disfigure is even a better word. Disfigure. Marring, synonyms. To inflict, ruin, or diminish the perfection or wholeness of. Inflict damage. Preacher condemns cutters preacher condemns Baptist Teaching on hard Baptist preaching against marring your flesh. Just keep that for now. If we have to change it, we change it later. Are we almost done yet? Oh, getting close. Getting closer. Do you wanna know a secret? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Promise not to tell. Closer. 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 Hang on a second.
When I go to the thrift store, Goodwill, I go to the jeans section and I look for Levi's. I found, you find after a while, you don't try brands. Just figure out something that works and go with it. Well, dudes have been wearing Levi 501s, 505 style jeans for more than 100 years, and it's pretty well accepted that those are, I've been wearing mine for more than 100 years. So I go to the jean rack and I look for jeans. I'll tell you why I don't look at any other jeans. Because, man, you can't tell which ones are guys and which ones are girls. And this whole thing they call skinny jeans, there are two styles that should have just never been and should have gone away a lot faster than they have. That whole hang your pants down, let your pants hang down thing. When I go to anyway.
Fix the audio pop. Preacher bashes on men who wear skinny jeans. Uh-oh. Knocking things over, okay. Cue it up. Next. Fix the pop at the end.
Tattoos, right? Tattoos are kind of come and they kind of go. How many of y'all are just grossed out by tattoos? To be honest with you, there's like a lot of you are grossed out by. I really, I think that I don't think they're beautiful. Okay, I just don't think they're beautiful. They don't bother me, to be honest with you. I mean, for some people, I'm like, well, you know what? I mean, it just kind of covers up what's there, and that's probably not a bad thing anyway. That's not how God made you. So, anyway, that's mean one. I said something nice about you guys this morning, even though I didn't mean it. So that ought to offset a little bit, right? So ought to compensate a little bit for saying that you're beautiful people, right? I said this morning, y'all are beautiful people, even though I didn't mean it. I didn't mean the other either. So they ought to just.
We know better.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. So I hope y'all feel great about yourselves right about this time.
That video is totally incomplete because it doesn't really say anything. He just said that they don't bother him. So I'm going to export it anyway. It should probably be combined with another one because I remember there being good information in that sermon about talking about the meanings of tattoos and stuff, but it's not included in that clip. But I'm going to export it anyway. And it's just going to be this pastor touches on Baptist preacher says tattoos don't bother him. That says how you spell tattoos, just to make sure. Pretty sure that's right. Tattoo. Tattoo or ratatouille. Alright, so export it. A little disappointed in that one because it didn't really, there's like no meat. Some of these are just like too short and they don't say anything. but I'll find the ones to try to combine. Probably some of them are good as they are, and some need to be combined or something. I mean, they're okay, I guess, as little excerpts, but they're not saying anything, and they're just going to be a waste. People are going to click on them expecting to hear something, and there's really nothing being said. This is a waste of space. This can be cut. Now I gotta crossfade that.
How many of y'all shop at the thrift store like I do? When we go to the thrift store, I'm telling
I'm gonna fix this.
struggle in life unless you get a grasp on some basic principles. It is send you down and keep your waist up. They don't end; they just keep changing. So,
Okay. Baptist preacher makes jokes about fat people. These are totally clickbait titles. It's not really, I mean, the keywords, preacher, Baptist preacher, jokes, fat people, it all pertains to the video, but the way it sounds, it's like he's making fun of fat people when he's not. This is actually making fun of himself and his own size. But it's still funny to clickbait title it like that. Hopefully it'll work. This one I gotta fix the audio cut.
not sin.
What is the source of the law?
But the law is not just secular. Where God has said,
Baptist preacher. Baptist pastor explains where laws come from. What is the source of the law? Why do we have laws? Baptist preacher on why we have laws. Baptist preacher on why Baptist preacher says the law is a good thing. This is not reflective. I don't know. I'm not getting a good title for this just yet. Let me hear what he's saying.
Leviticus, and man, I'll tell you what, I start out, going, full guns, but, yeah, you ever just learn some things that gave you a little insight? As a lot of things aren't really, especially when it comes to sin, they're not very forthright, they're not very honest about sin. What's the source of the law? God. The law reflects God and His opinion about things. When the Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill," it shows us that God values life. Time we read parts of the law in it, how we're talking about that it actually was the legal covenant. That was the document for Israel. It was their national law. But the law is not just secular, right? Remember last week when we talked about how when we're reading the Old Testament, the first What's the law's source? What is it based on? What is the source of the law?
Where did our laws come from? Why we have laws? I don't know. What is the source of the law? I guess this Baptist preacher explains the source of the law. Okay, save, queue. Next, are we almost done? Oh, looks like we've got 3 more. Here we are. Ready? Here.
Believers in the church age fall into the dangerous trap of either misunderstanding that we do live in an age, time period, which God is working with man a certain way. We've always been saved by faith, right? That's not what the Bible says. Salvation's always been by faith in every time period, every age. Sometimes believers fall in a trap and they have a hard time with the application of the law in the life of believers. Now here's really where we as believers ought to come down, and I'm not going to do a dissertation on the law today or the end of the law today. I simply want to say what Jesus said about the law. Jesus said, I am not come to destroy the law, but to fulfill it. Okay? Paul said that when we break the law even, when we come under the law even, we consent to the law that it's good, right? The law to the church of Colossians, they were given to understand by the Apostle Paul that the law was a schoolmaster to educate people who otherwise would have been in ignorance of their need for a Savior. And so the law was a schoolmaster to teach them that they needed to come to Christ. The trouble with the law is that when individuals think that the law is something which is to be kept in order to be good, as I've kept the law, therefore I'm good, that they've misunderstood the law because no one has ever kept the law. That's the deal. So the trouble with the law isn't that it shows us we're bad. That's actually a good thing. It's actually a good thing. I don't have a problem with beginning a presentation of the gospel, actually, with using the law to show people what sin is. By the way, in our day and age, people don't know what sin is. They actually need to be educated about what sin. There's just very little shame because people don't really know that things are even wrong. They've just numbed their conscience. We live in a society that just has destroyed the consciousness of God's natural law in us. And so people are very oblivious to sin. You have to point it out for them to even know they're bad. I don't know how many people say, well, I'm basically a good person. And when you challenge them on it, they're like, well, okay, you know what? Listening to you, I feel like I'm a pretty terrible person. After a little while, you're like, you make me sound like I'm just a terrible person. Well, no, actually the law does that. The law educates us that we're terrible people, and that's so that we can know that we need Christ. We can come to the place where we realize what it is to have God's love and be God's children. So the law's good, okay?
Baptist preacher tells people they are terrible. That works for now. Cue it up. 2 more. We should be done. How much time did we spend? An hour 45, so almost 2 hours. Alright, ready?
And it is just as natural to like tattoos as it is to like snakes. That's the best way I can illustrate it. If you like snakes, there is just something that is twisted and demented about you, because God just put a aversion to snakes in us naturally. And if you don't hate snakes, you've done something that is corrupted what you should naturally be, and you need to get back to what you're supposed to be. And stop liking snakes and tattoos. The thing is that we began, and I asked the question, the law, these laws, where did they come from? Say, Pastor, well, they were a knee-jerk reaction to pagan practices that God didn't want to carry over into Israel. Okay. Pagan practices that God didn't want to carry over. And that's really what it kind of comes down to on all these things, is each of these things, these practices, are just kind of heathen. They kind of don't reflect the way that God thinks. And when I read this in God's law, my conclusion is I don't think God likes it when you punch holes in your ears, put plugs in them. I don't think God likes it much when you punch holes in yourself anywhere. There's the New Testament principle, our body's the temple of the Holy Ghost, but that isn't what the point of that actually is anyway. That's talking about fornication. But I just, when I read the Bible, I'm kind of like, God doesn't like piercing. Anybody like to argue the opposite from a scriptural perspective? There's no argument from the other perspective, is there? There's a sound argument, there's a solid argument that God doesn't like it. And when I realize God doesn't like it, I think, well, what if my wife didn't like it? If my wife didn't like it, I wouldn't do it. Well, I've grown a beard, but I shave it a lot too. We'll compromise there. Now, what if my wife didn't like it? Well, if I love my wife, right? It's no brainer, right? My wife says, I don't like tight clothes on you. Okay. I don't like you wearing a dress. Well, all right. I don't like tattoos on you. All right. I don't like it when you carve patterns in your hair. It just looks vain. Doesn't look right. It looks like you're trying to present yourself as something. It doesn't seem right. Yeah, Chuck. I'm afraid to let you go.
These people that get tattoos in the dark.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. How do you know that, Chuck? Who told you that? Okay. All right. I found that that's normally, it's just not anymore. Not anymore. They think it looks good. They like the attention that draws to them. It makes you look at their tattoo. And of course, the placement of the tattoos, you just tell what they're trying to track.
Okay, so that's the part I was talking about. That should have been combined with the other one, but we'll check it later. So what's this one about? All the things God doesn't like. Okay.
So, but the thing about it is that what's God think about it? Do we have an inkling of what God's opinion about tattoos is?
Yeah, so I'm eating peanut butter crackers. It's just the way it is. Let's fix that. Let's fix editing with one hand now. Got a peanut butter cracker in the other.
Has a much stronger opinion about this, I think, than I do. He's got his bases covered. Right? You say, Pastor, now I'm afraid you'll see my tattoo. Don't be. Don't be. I probably won't notice it. I don't think about it. The underlying meanings to it, I'm just not going around thinking about it. I'm a man, I've got long hair, I've got, I've manicured my head, decorated it or something. Now, I'll probably notice that, and I'll probably make fun of you for it, but it won't be personal, okay? Don't get your feelings hurt. Dress and so forth. Now, here's the deal. When somebody's a young believer, give them time to read the Bible. Just let them read the Bible about it.
All right, so Baptist preacher claims to know what God thinks about everything. Baptist preacher says he knows what God is thinking, what God thinks. No, Baptist preacher tells everything God hates. Sorry, I'm eating my peanut butter cracker as I think of a title for this. Alright, got Baptist preacher. Well, what God? Baptist preacher. Tells God's opinions on how you look. I don't know. I'm not getting a good title for this yet. Let me listen to a little bit more.
Tattoos, you just tell what they're trying to attract. So, but the thing about it is that what's God think about it? Do we have an inkling of what God's opinion about tattoos is? Does anybody have any idea what God thinks about tattoos? Kind of, right? Doesn't the law say don't do it? Yeah, God gave the law, so we know God doesn't like it. So why would you do something God doesn't like? Now, Christian, let me stop here and just say, God has a much stronger opinion about this, I think, than I do. He's got his bases covered. I notice that, and I'll probably make fun of you for it. Fodder there for you. And if you're having trouble ripping on yourself, come to me and I'll give you some hints. So that's all for this evening. Not really, I'm joking about that. No, I'm joking about that. God, please help us to keep these things in perspective, but help us to have clarity for ourselves as well. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. You're dismissed.
We'll just do this. Baptist preacher tells what God doesn't. What happened? Hit a wrong button. Doesn't like. Just cancel that. Cancel that. Export again. Baptist preacher tells what God doesn't like. Tells everything God doesn't like. Tells everything. Tells. Baptist preacher knows what God doesn't like. Baptist preacher knows what God doesn't like. That works for now. Cue it, and we're on our last one. Yay, celebration. How much time? We're at 2 hours. Just about. Alright, so we did it in 2 hours. Okay. 2 hours it was. Last one. Let's go ahead and give it a name. It's on Women Like Ugly Men. Okay, that's it right there. We'll just cap it off. And we'll put we got our fade.
Don't do it.
Like that.
Don't do it.
Alright, I like how the music soundtrack goes right into the outro. So this is it. So this is just preacher says women love ugly men. Preacher says women love ugly men. Preacher says pretty girls like ugly men. Baptist preacher says pretty girls like ugly men. There you go. Cue it up, and we are all set. This can be minimized or probably even closed, but I'm going to save it. I'm going to leave it open for now, just so we don't have any problems. And I have all these set to go. We do have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 is Preacher explains how to treat. 17, 18, 19. We got 19. All right. So then we hit go. Or, we hit go, and then here's the thing. They're just going to go. So if you have time away from your computer where you're going to go out and do something, you just let them go. And other than that, if you want to do something on your computer that takes a lot of time, or processing rather, processor intensive, all you have to do here is pause this, and it'll just pause where it's at, and everything will stay as it is. You can do what you need to do. Like, let's say you want to play a video game or whatever you want to do, and then when you're done and you want to, when you're not going to use your computer again, go ahead and resume, and it should pick up where I left off and continue to export this stuff. So that was 2 hours of editing, bulk editing, and now the bulk export, which really is just, I could have explained the bulk export in a matter of minutes, but I had to do it, so I did it. And so you stayed for 2 hours, but you didn't. And anyway, I'm going to end it now at 2 hours, right at subscribe, and